Good afternoon, or wherever you are in the present time that it is for you. In the present time that in which you are watching this video could be any time somewhere in the future after I upload it, I guess. Is that one of the ways? Somebody keeps telling me you seem to be guessing a lot. I certainly do. That's what I do when I guess. This is what I do. I go from this corner over here and to that corner over here. So I guess in order to do something, I want to choose a spot in between. So how do I do that? So I do like this. I choose this corner here, and I draw a line all the way up to this corner over here. Now I got one line. And if I'm in the center and I spread out my arms, I can balance like on a balance beam, putting me in the center. My two arms would equal to 1 and 3. My two legs would equal to 7 and 9. I am so sure. My brother called me. He wanted me to come and help him with something. I didn't ask. Didn't want to ask. I already knew for the place I was going to be, it was going to be something to do with work. Now, either you work all the way, because you can't work part of the way. So what I tried to do is I forced like I could. I hate it. It was terrible. Had to force for absolutely nothing. Now I'm back home. It's all over. I'm happy I did that. But there's something about halfway. You know, you can go to a halfway house. I mean, if you really want to look at liberty, you want to know what liberty is all about? Liberty is like, let's say you go to the bathroom, sit down on the toilet, and for a number 2, and the number 2 starts to come out, and God says to you, stop. He says, but God, it's only halfway. He says, well, cut it off. And you can stop when you go to the bathroom, cut it off right there. At any point when you're making that dump, you can cut it off. You will have the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end of every single piece. And the piece that was still in motion, that was the middle, when it's cut off, the one part that's at the bottom, it creates the V because of your ass. Well, the other part in the bottom creates it this way. It makes that pivot point around the hole. Until you take the hole, you open it up to go out. So it's like this and like this. Do you see it makes an X when it comes out of your ass? Right? That's the same thing as the doors of man. It's the same thing. It does the same thing. It goes out, it's this. Then the shape is up here. When it's in, the shape is the other way. Here we got a delta shape, and here we got a V shape. Now, if I run the V shape up my head and down, we end up with the pentagon. The Pontiac design, like the boat in the back. Okay. Did I tell you how that pentagram was made? It's made very simple. Okay. God has his 3 points. Okay. The top point, this point, and this point. Now, I really never considered what to do with the delta angle, but the delta angle that points up must be sitting on 5, 7, and 9. A D going upways, a V over a flat line, okay, which would be like the N. It has to be that way, otherwise the shape, okay, of connecting the square will not be equal. Then there's one at the top. At the top, it's 1, 2, 3, and 5. Part of one world, part of another world. Still, it's only ABC 1, 2, 3. I didn't do anything different. It's still ABC 1, 2, 3, except when it's flipped the other way, it's ABC, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 5. And the bottom part, which is 5, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, and 9, okay, or let's go 7, 8, and 9. Let's start at 9. 9 and 1 brings 9 to 10, which makes it a 10, 10, okay. 8 with 2 makes it a 10, and 7 with 3 makes it a 10, 10, 10 world. Okay, so what I'm just trying to say is ABC is 7, 8, 9, and which is G, H, and I. And that's why G, H, and I, all you're missing is the electronic world, okay, and the transmission, okay. By connecting those two together, it designs the I, the E, and the T, and creating the word 8. Okay, don't forget lime. Okay, lime. That is the connection world. It connects to 10. Lime is a connecting world. Why is that? Like I showed you before. When you cut a lime in half, there's 9 spaces inside plus the center. Then there's the point on the outside that's right in the center of it. Okay, and on the other point of the line is another one here. There's 3 points to it, but the center one, 5, is in the dead center. And when you cut dead center, you end up with 9 on this side and 9 on this side. And that's the representation of I, E-I-E-I-O. E-I-E-I-O, E-I-G-H-T, 8, the 8 heaven. I'm not sure where I was and I got a little lost, but what I want to tell you something about the difference between 2-6, okay, and 2-4. The difference between 2-6 is 2 works with 3 to create the 6. The difference between 2 and 4, okay, the 2 uses the 1 to create the 3. So the 1 doesn't do anything. It's the 2 that takes the 1 to create the 3. Because it's the beta world, so I speak of it that way. It's still God the same. So what happens is because the 2, the 1 is inside the 2, we don't see it. So all we see is the next 2 numbers are 2 and 3. And 2 and 3 are 5. And then 3 and 6 are 9. Automatically telling you 5-9. 5-9, E-I-E-I-O. The 59 minutes and 60 seconds we have in every single hour. Why? Because 60 equals to 4. 4 equals to 4 parts of a pi, which is 360 degrees, which is cut corners in this world to a square, because there's 2 squares in each other, and you got to find the fine points. They would all become 8 and 8 hours, and they're obviously creating what would be the same symbol of the Mercedes-Benz. That sign of the symbol of the Mercedes-Benz creates the pentagram. At the same time, it creates the Magen David and the inside core of what this world is, how this world is put together. Somehow it's lines of energy just going all over the place. And those chemtrails that you see are more than just chemtrails. I believe, now here's one of my hypotheses, is I believe the governments know that we've always been connected. And it's not time for anybody to know. So the government is told by the wicked angels to do this because it's not time. The government was tricked in one way, okay? Because what it is the governments are supposed to keep this secret, learn all these things from the good people, when it's always the good people. How can I exactly say this? The demons and the good people. The demons will help the evil, but the good people, angels, will never help us. Because we're not doing evil. You can't see it. They're helping us in here. This is where the good is. This is where the good angels are. They're in here. Because it's us who make the action. It's man who makes the action. We're the last piece of the puzzle. We're the fingertips of everything. So the evil one is the same thing. And he's the fingertips of his everything. He decides what he wants through the bad side of the angel. Because both those angels are like this. The evil and the good angel is just like this. The minute the good comes in, there is no... If I take away evil, it just goes like this. Either you're on the evil side or you're not. And it balances out. It's like a pool of evil. So you take the side of the evil because it makes you money. It's a way into the stock market. It's a secret to make money. And then lo and behold, there are those who are even more eviler, and then they devour you. Because at the end, everybody knows. Once the dragon has devoured everybody, there's less than half. Not more than 1. Not more than 10% of this world can exist. For the 10% of the mind, for the 10% of the transmission. That's one of the reasons, okay, that they bring it down. The reason they say 500 million, okay, people should be left over. See, I'd like to know based on what figure. And I'm saying, well, if that figure would be based on 5775, okay, that would mean 575 million people. Now, why is 575? Because it's 1 quarter, 1 quarter, 1 quarter, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. This is where pi comes in. Wow. That makes up for 25, 25, 25. The club, 25 to the left, 25 to the right, 25 above. Why isn't the one above more? Wouldn't the one above be more for this one and this one? No, it's the same thing. This one on the right needs half of the middle. This one on the left needs half of the middle. Beta is automatically with number 1 inside of her, and she works at number 2. So they're all working in the same thing. So when beta works this way, and this way, and this way, because the 1 is empty, this becomes the letter F. But on this side, because creation is full, 3, because you use creation, creation is man, and creation is the universe, but we're not using the one God in here. We're only using him as spirit. We only need him for the life, and that enters over here. So beta is the one who makes the action, which is God. I'm still believing that it's God who takes the ways of the universe, creates this world over here, and calls it a secondary world. There's a God for it. Why is he the secondary God and the seventh God? Because his other angels, he's the one spirit God. He's the one spirit God, and his one angels is delta angels. Because delta is over here. Okay, the triangle part that you see with our eye here and then goes around our nose, this triangle over here and this triangle over here are two delta triangles pointing at each other. Almost like in the center is a line, and you press on this side and it says close the elevator door, and you press on this side it says hold the elevator door open. So you can see on our eyes right here that those two deltas come up, just like the one that comes between our eyebrow and the one that comes out from our flat mouth two ends to the point of our nose. It comes out to a delta. Here's another delta on each side, and then the one that shapes up over here and then comes down over here. That's why the Indians put the red dot spirit right there, because they put it in the right place. They did the right thing. They show it off. Some of us like it. Some of us hate it. It is what it is. That's what it is. It is. It is what it is. Pretty cool, eh? It is what it is. It's what it is. But it's what it is it's what who we are. Because it is us. It's a transmission. It's a secondary world. It's the birth into this world. 2-9. I always thought it was 3-9. The angle of birth is 2-9. The creation of birth is 3-9. Okay. Delta. Okay. Or creation is 3-9. The creation of the birth, which would be a passage hole, because creation of the birth actually says we need a hole to come out of. Can you figure that out? I'm going to try and explain it. Smoke another cigarette at the same time. The 9 birth in the corner. All the corners got chopped. The square became a hexagon, and not only for that reason, but for the same reason, inside the square, you'd put another square inside in the middle of it, in between each one, creating the 8 sides. Inside there, if you want, maybe you can recreate the other square, in which becomes man's life, or it's the circle. The circle of life, that all goes around number 5, the circle of life, because if you ever looked at some numbers, right? I'm going to try and do this here. You ever see a half moon? You know half moons. Then you have this sticking in it. Okay. This is because the corners are cut. This is because these numbers here from the roulette. Okay. These numbers create. I haven't done half of what should be done to the roulette. I haven't done half. Did I ever show you this one here? This is where what happens is 6 is what's living. 4 is the delta angel. What this 4 means, okay, is it means I am between 1 and 7. I take their energy to get to the in-between world of 5. 8 says I am 7 and I am 9. Result is I am an 8 in between. I am in between and take it to the in-between world. The 3 and the 9 is over here. In between 3 and 9 is a total of 6. Here is a total of 1. Here is a total of 3 over here. Excuse me, from 1 to 7 is a total of 6. From 3 to 9 is a total of 6. From 2 to 8 is a total of 6. 6, 6, 6. And then man ends up being 6 again. And then 1, 2, 3 equals 6. 4, 5, 6 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 7, 8, 9 is 24. And that's a representation of the X. The passage, 25, 6, 25, 6, 25, 6, 25, 25, 6, 25. This is the heavens, okay, which what happens is this goes down to here and then back up to here. It goes back. It just goes back. But this is on the other side of this line, don't forget. This line that I pull back here, okay, still calls for this world because there's a world below it and a world above it. There's more than just this. There's going to be, I'm working on that, there's 36 numbers in roulette, so I'm working on, there's 12 rows and 36 dice. Maybe just one side of the dice. So 36 times 9 is 270 and 54 is 324. Is that what it is? 30 times 7. Let me figure this out. 36 times 9. 30 times 9 is 270. 6 times 9 is 54, which is love, and the other one is the beta god. The beta god of Omega. The beta god of Omega, 20. What does that mean, the beta god of Omega? Wow, I see it so visual. You see a square circle, okay, with its point standing up, okay, has a value of 20. But an X has a value of 25. Okay, so the square circle that has that value, okay, has a total value of how much? And then the question is, are you going to use the X or the square? Because the square has 4 angles, and obviously there's a dot in the center. 4 angles of a square is also 20. It's the X that makes it 25. But as a square with the same 4 corners, as the same 4 arms on an X, the value is now 20. So when you say omega, what's omega worth? It's worth 20. 20, okay, plus the X that goes in the middle, Roman numeral value. You now have creation, and you have number 30, the 4 months of 30 days. And I haven't really got into it. I've told you basics about it. I'm quite sure I can get into it and show you exactly why it's done that way, according to shapes and designs that fit into the part of the puzzle of creation, or how the elements were brought together to bring us to a point that we are today. But I'm starting back a little bit further in time, a couple of thousand years. In fact, my work is more or less, I'm going from now, and I'm using parts in my past, and I'm using parts from thousands of years ago, in which I don't know about it until I come up with a design and it says XYZ. But anyways, it's time to go right now. I didn't tell you half of what I wanted to, but it's usually like that. There definitely, somebody created this whole thing. Either A, computers have been around so long underneath the ground, and they've been bringing everything up. Things that I found out from the last, even the song, Dance Like an Egyptian. The reason that dance is like that, okay, is because the floors, you see the center? My head is the center. Number 1, number 3, number 1, number 3, dance like an Egyptian. This transfers from here to here, whatever is being transferred, okay? And at the other point, there's an X in it that connects it, which means the floors can come like this and come together and come like this. Even though the Y is the X is over here, the 2 floors come together like this, and they make the transfer. And in order to do that on the roulette wheel, it's a red number. The black numbers don't do the same. Okay, in the black numbers, you got to walk like an Egyptian in the center. You got to use the 17 and that 20, number 37 pass. That's what it is. 16, 19, 35, 18R, 21U, 35, 39, 74, the number of the Christ. Right in the middle of the roulette. I didn't make it up. The numbers are never wrong. I can only be wrong in my explanation of the design of the equation within my own mind. But the numbers themselves will always be right regardless of what came out of my mouth, because what's going to come out of my mouth might tell the different story to this angle, but jumped off into a place where I haven't even learned yet. You understand what I'm saying? The numbers will always bring you somewhere. Number 2, number 8, number 7, number 5. You know, I mean, in the restaurant, what do you want? I want a Big Mac for 2. How many fries? You know what I'm saying? It's a trio. It's a trio. No, listen to this. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and said, hey, we're selling the Quadra? No, you want the Quadra, okay? You're going to get a 4-wheel drive bike. So one has got 4 wheels on the floor. The other one's a flying saucer in between 2 buns. The flying saucer is that circle that connects to all the worlds. It's the disk world, the beta disks. Wow. I never finished with going to the bathroom. The 2 things that you don't want to, the 2 things in life you want to stay away from about doing half, okay? Never go to the bathroom and make a number 2 while halfway through stand up and walk out. Now that's one of the halfways you don't want to do, right? Well, anything you do halfway is exactly like that, okay? It degenerates yourself, Secondly, you go to the bathroom, you're a woman, start to pee. You don't stop peeing in the middle, you stand up. It's things you don't do in the middle of things. You know what I'm saying? Or things you don't start. Some things you don't want to start until you get there. So you're lying in bed with your husband, you're busy talking to your husband, and your husband says to you, what are the two things that really bother you that people start before they even get there and it bothers you? And the husband turns to his wife and he says, oh, when you start to pee, before you get to the bathroom, that's one thing you shouldn't start before anything, right? I mean, you don't want to start taking a crap while you're on the way. Yeah, imagine you're downtown, in the middle of downtown, crossing the road. You decided you need to take a crap. So you pull down your pants, and right there, you start to take a crap. It's an animal, man. Animal has to take a crap. He's going to take a crap wherever. For him, everything is good. But for you to sit down in the middle of St. Catharines, you'd start taking crap, and never mind. You also have one of these suitcases with a hole in the center. You can sit right on it and read your newspaper while everybody walks by. I'm not happy with this. Guy gave me a deal, and you know what? I've had trouble with him before. I don't like it. Look at this. 1919. Oh my God. When I look at that, I just have so many ideas. To let this one go, show them 97.7. Why in the world would they go 97.7? Because it's the 9 world, right, of the 7th gate. Let me, hold on a second. 9th world, 7th gate. Hold on a second. 9 world, 7th gate. The crossing over here, 7th gate. Okay, 9th world, 7th gate. The 7th gate is here, okay? And what the 7th gate does is it turns here, and it turns to these corners here and these corners here. At the same time, okay, I'm not sure, but there's a witchet over here. I'm not sure if there's a witchet in between here. But because I only have the 2 and 5 cycle, okay, what I mean 2 and 5 cycle is right over here you see the number 2, okay? The position dead center of that X is position 5. You see the way the V is pointed down to where the 2 would be at 5, okay? It's the same way in the dice. In the dice, the only thing that counts in dice is 1 to 6, okay? 1 would be up here, and 6 would be up here, and no, down here. And then over here is 4 to 3, and here is 2 to 5. That's the inside of the mug and dovey. Okay, so that's where your numbers come out of. So if that big thing comes and ticks in here, and then you have your own. Where the 9 is, 97.7, 1 leg, 2 legs, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, but hold on. There's 3 ways to say this. Which way am I going? Which way am I going? Which way am I going? Okay. Okay, we're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. When does the 7th gate come? The 7th gate comes like this. This is the 7th gate moving. Whatever it goes over, that's what it's going to get. That's the 7th gate. At the same time, it does this 7th gate at the bottom and on the top. It does the same thing on the bottom and the top. When it's, you see where it is over here? It's like that, okay? That's your 7. That's your 7th gate. 97.7, because it's this one, the point of the 7. The 7, okay, the 9 world of man, right, over here. 8 plus 1 in the center is 9. The 8 plus the birth is the 9. Okay, the 7th gate that turns over these numbers here and these numbers here. The 7th gate, 9 in here. This is the 7th gate over this one, as there are 6, and over this one there are 6. Okay, but now there's another way to tell this. Now I can rip this whole thing apart and just use 3 cubes and explain it a different way. Do you want me to explain it that different way right now? Oh my God. Because I know I didn't do it good enough. I know. Let me tell you one thing. My teacher is just not fair with me. Not fair. He's not fair. She's not fair. Well, one of them is not fair. One of them is not fair with me. Goes in one ear, comes out the other. I said, wait. Let one half of the brain listen before you blow it out the other ear. All of a sudden they hear the word blow, and she's down there and doing it. I says, what are you doing? She says, I'm blowing you. Are you really? Well, blow me a little bit more. I want to be a little bit taller. When you get blown by a woman, it's because the brain has made you a little bit smarter. And because our skin, it's an envelope for our body. Have you ever bought filet mignon? I bought a whole piece and I de-skinned it. My knife didn't even want to cut through that skin, that tendon that was holding the meat to it, everything together. I don't know the way our bodies are made, but the good old Lord, he gave us a sure heart and a good old T-bone steak right here. I mean, everybody knows why the, does everybody know why the rooster gets up at 5 a.m.? Does everybody know why the rooster gets up at 5 a.m.? Because first of all, the rooster's all the way up here. Delta, okay? There's the delta, okay? This can also be called the pentagram because there's a line that always goes straight up. When you do creation, there will be a dividing fine line that can be in between the lines, dividing the two sides, right in between. And every time it touches another line, it's going to create a dot, or another line will be created or formed. Do you see the two pyramids upside down from each other? Two pyramids upside down from each other, two pyramids upside down from each other, and at the same time, this dot point and this point, and this point and this point, it can turn. The 9 arm and the 3 arm and the 12 arm and the 6 arm, they can turn differently. There's 2 in here. There's 2 of them in there. It has to be in there. I forgot that's what it came. The 2 and 8 arm, the beta arm, 2 and 8 of the beta heavens here and here create the creation heavens. Okay, it's the beta arm in here. Yeah, that's where it is. Now I know. Okay, the beta arm in here turns, and it's here and here. I know because you see the bottom of the Mug and David. It's the 2 and 8 in your telephone. And then this, the extension of these arms, which is the 6 of man and the 4. Those arms, right? That arm will do this. When it does this, it's going to connect 4 and 3. When it does this, it's going to connect 1 and 6. So now you have an arm that connects 2, 4. That connects, oh my God. You're going to have an arm over here, 4 and 6. Okay, this world over here, 4 and 6, 2 and 8. This one will connect 7, 7, 7. Okay, or actually 7 and 7. And the center world, 2 and 5, will create 7. But down here, it'll be 8 and 5. It'll be 13. 1 and 3 is 4. So here you had 7, and here you have 4. 4 is the delta angel. 7 is the beta delta angle. 1 and 5, actually, what I want to say. 15. It stands for omega. Oh my God, I'm telling you one thing. If you don't understand me, I feel really bad. And I feel really bad for myself not being able to, but it's so pinpoint exact. It's exactly, there are 2 arms. There are 2 arms in this clock, if not 4, number 1. Plus this, did I tell you what this shape has to do? Somehow this has to be designed in a star, like a starship of some sort. In order to last in space, okay, I don't believe space is constant. I don't believe it's the same weight. I don't believe it's the same heat. It's not the same. You even see out there, it's constantly moving. But I think space is more than what they tell us. I think it's a lot harder than what they say, and I think it's a lot colder than what they say. That's what space is all about. God, what he did is he made a bunch of these, right, around this, like trains, you know, like a choo-choo train, and made a bunch of these. Each one of these is a planet. This would be, let's say, 1, 2, 3 planets, okay? So we have 9 planets, so we need 3 of these. All these have to connect to create a ship. And this ship is constantly moving. What we're actually seeing in space is our space, but it's God's design space. And he used a hell of a lot of space, okay? And I think we're constantly moving. Now, if we don't do this in space, I believe that the space will be so erratic that none of the planets will be able to exist on their own without being inside a skin of what God puts around them. And he sets them up. And we're constantly moving and working on gaining more space as God is constantly, and that's one of the reasons he wants his children. He needs his children to know that if we stop moving in space, okay, we will freeze or burn. So we got to constantly move in space. You think it's easy, life forever and ever, for eternity? There's more to it than that, for sure. But the great thing about God, what I believe, is we're all backed up in mainframe. As long as he protects mainframe, which can be probably, I don't know, the size of a building maybe, size of a building, has all the information for the entire universe to reset somewhere else by collecting molecules. You die, of course you can die in heaven, but they bring you back right away. They just put you into a new skin. But your mind, you're only your mind. I mean, tomorrow you cut a finger off, you're the same person. The next day you cut your dick off, you're fucked up. You're still the same person. Look at my nose, I hate it. I'm still the same person. So that's basically what eternal life means. It's because the eternal life it's our mind. Because once our mind is awake, and it knows the difference about being and not being here. So it's the mind. It's just a mind. It's a crazy thing. What does this mind want? Why do we want to live forever? Why? What a crazy thing. Forever is something that you cannot touch with a number, with one number. Forever is actually something you can never ever get. And you know what it is? A dot without a line. Because if you got a dot without a line, that's it, my friends. For many reasons. A dot and a line makes 10. You have the 10 God. You're already in business and you're living forever. Okay? But if no stream passes by your V-point in your sexual manly life, that dot and that line don't match, and that sperm and that egg don't get together. The number one alpha, the line, and the dot of beta, the egg, have come together to make 10, the dot and the line. And then creation came about, and they drew it along the lines of creation, and they created within. They made an omega. How did they make omega? 6, 8, and 4. Makes omega, makes the completion of omega. But it's 4, 2, and 6 that are actually the top part of omega. It's the reflection of 2, 4, and 6. And I say 2, 4, and 6 is because God made 2, 4, and 6. He could not make a reflection of the center line for the reason that it would be, you know, most reflections of the center line would be, you would be missing the legs and the cards. So what happens is he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the next one he flips over 7, 8, 9, and 7, 8, 9 is actually 3, 2, 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the line that divides between 4, 5, 6, okay, and 1, it'll make 3 lines in between each one because we're only using up 3 spaces, and we're only using 6 numbers in 9 spaces. 6 of 9, another reason for 6 of 9. Yes, it's valid. I didn't pull it out from my hat. I just keep going over and over. It's so much. It's just so much. I see, and everything comes together, and I know whatever I find, I know it's going to fit somewhere one day, so I have to put it on the side and forget, just like the picture in the background. I mean, I see the whole picture today, and I see the dots and the eyes and the lines. I mean, obviously, you drew a picture. You know what I'm saying? Even the picture cards. Anyways, the beta egg is sitting on an angle like this. The beta egg is on an angle like this. The alpha egg is sitting like this. it crosses this way and this way. Okay, now the beta egg, okay, would be like this, okay, and she just goes straight down. Actually, she goes on this angle. It goes on this angle, Z, or it goes on this angle, N. Zion, Z-I-O-N, connect the two sides of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And the reason for that is just because the red 16 and 19 make an I, and the 18 and 21 make an I. And what you can do is you can jump over red to red. You can jump around the numbers. If you ever look at a roulette board, there's white between all the numbers separating it. It also means it joins. It means any number can go out of that line to find another number. Okay, well, just by hopping a number. Okay, hopping, the Hopi Indians, hopping, that's what it's all about, my friend. It's all about the cat's ears sniffing asses. It's about the dog and Lassie coming home. It's about the way the rabbit, when it shits, it's all like little dots. When the bird shit, it's all white. I never seen a bird piss in my life. They never piss me off. The birds go up, the birds go down. The birds go in all direction once they're off the ground. The whales, oh, I put together something with the whale. God's a big whale. Oh, I forgot to tell you this, one of the reasons. Did you know that depending on, I have certain designs that can create fish in four corners. Another thing is, oh my God, I don't even know where I'm going next. I like this design I did. 3, passing around 6 to 9, up into 5, over to 2, but it's not like that. It starts over here, okay? 2 beta goes around 4 to 7 to the 7th gate, touches on the edge of heaven. At the same time, she's shooting down here, okay, up here, 3 birth, 3 creation to the 9 birth, passing up between 5 and 6. Up to beta, at the same time, the delta angel. This is the delta angel that's actually controlling everything. That's why this line is from here to here. So when you turn it around and you take a good look at it, doesn't it look like a little guy or from a television program? He's got his mouth here that's open with his little eye, its black little eye in his nose. Anyways, okay, I'm stopping to force myself on you guys. I'm going to continue doing these little videos. 37 minutes. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. MrTacpans. MrTacpans. What do you want to do, MrTacpans? What do you want to do? Well, I have to get out of the picture because I want it to end that way. I just want it to end this way. I hope everybody enjoyed. If you have any questions about something in particular, a name, there's no problem. I'll do a cassette for 10 minutes all about it. I don't care. It's all right. Whatever I do is because I learn. I need to learn. You need to ask. You don't need to anything. It's none of my business. Please like. Thank you. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. I still stand tall. I still stand tall. Okay. On Ron Paul. To stand tall on Ron Paul. He will take you for the good ride, and it'll be for the long haul. These are my 2 favorite pictures. Hold on a second. Isn't that crazy? I'm moving the camera, and I can't even get it straight. Raphael. Hey, that's crazy. Oh, maybe I can do it this way. Raphael, no. Maybe I can do it this way. Ah, there you go. There you go. Okay, Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. On behalf of MrTacpans, thank you.